This David Wood situation is utterly terrible on so many different ways. If you guys didn't know, David Wood and Sam Shamoon have been in a cold war of sorts.
Okay.
And it revs up every couple of years, and then it kind of simmers down. Well, this time around, David Wood decided to go 8 Mile, nuclear 8 Mile, and basically, in his attempt to neutralize Sam ever having anything over his head, exposed all the crazy stuff in his own life and over his own head. But before we do that, I would be a bad friend if I didn't tell you about our brand new Black Friday sale that's happening this week. This is some of our Bless God from the Summit apparel that's here. But what I really want to highlight to you guys is our Bless God Discipleship Bundle, which combines my 60-day devotional as well as our prayer journal and our leadership planner. So what's awesome about this is if you are looking to just get through the entire narrative of Scripture, you can do that in the 60-day devotional and journal, as well as pick up a prayer journal for a friend or a spouse or a loved one and get a leadership planner. So this is available now. The quantity on these are limited. We also have very limited copies of my brand new book, Godly Ambition, signed copies, limited signed copies on sale. All of this is available right now for our Black Friday sale. So hit the link in the pinned comment, do some shopping before some of this stuff runs out. And we're already starting to sell out of the books and a couple of other bundles. So blessgod.co. Let's jump into this conversation. Now, the issue with this is Julie Royce ran a report on it. And in the middle of a 6-hour stream, David Wood reveals some utterly evil and deplorable things that he did when he was 18 years old, before he was a Christian. Okay? And those evil things he acknowledges. And those evil things, by the way, he said he will go to jail for, and he's down to go to jail for, if the victims came around and wanted to file charges for. Okay? This is in subsequent stream. So what was revealed? What was revealed? I love that your face here is amazing. In the middle of this stream, Wood reveals that, do you know much about his story?
I know that he is like a diagnosed psychopath. That he has kids, and then his boys passed recently. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Diagnosed psychopath who almost killed his dad on Thanksgiving Day in the 90s.
Okay.
Was an atheist, hearing voices, all kinds of crazy stuff. Almost killed his dad, goes to prison for that.
Okay, so he did time.
Did time for that.
Okay.
In prison is when he has an encounter with Jesus.
Wow.
Okay. What he basically, I'll try to summarize this, what he basically confessed to as an attempt to, hey, Sam, you're not going to hold anything over me, is that when he was 18 out on bond,
mm-hmm.
he hooked up at a party with a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Darkness.
Pretty dark.
Pretty dark. But it was the 90s. And
No. There was
I'm subscribed, so I
and there was no justification for it.
Wow.
He acknowledged it as evil. He acknowledged it as illegal. He acknowledged it as wrong,
mm-hmm.
and said in a subsequent stream that he would be willing to go to prison again for it if the woman came forward and said, I feel violated, yada, 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 right? Now, that is what happened. There's nothing, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That is evil. That is awful. That's terrible. Julie Royce decided to run an article. Christian apologist David Wood confesses he raped girls prior to his conversion in shocking live stream. Okay, now that's a wild title. Okay.
That's a wild one.
And so she goes over it. Now there's some issues here that are significant to point out. So what they're discussing is a confession of statutory rape, right? But the way this is framed
is like forceful.
Sounds wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in this, they've had to make a gajillion revisions.
Hello.
There's all the corrections.
Okay. Correction. The Roy's report has made several corrections to this article, most notably the characterization of Wood as boasting, oh my goodness, about his misconduct, and Edemeyer as laughing it off. This was the interpretation of the reporter given the demeanor of both men. But Wood clearly acknowledges his behavior was wrong. We apologize for this mischaracterization. So that's a big one. Also, we initially stated that Wood rejects moral conventions, but changed to rejected, showing his change in views. Yeah, there we go. The Roy's report also removed a sentence claiming that 6% dislike ratio of the video with Wood's confession shows a normalization of the behavior Wood describes. The Roy's report also has instead inserted several sentences which more accurately explain why the audience did not respond negatively to Wood's confession. Also corrected a misquote. I mean, that's a lot.
So that's a lot of corrections they had to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Like they're kind of flippant with this. Also, here's what's interesting. We as Christians read scripture written by significantly less than perfect people with very similar scenarios in their life. Some even worse. I would say where the call out culture has taken root in Christian culture is the idea that someone in ministry did something nefarious while being active in ministry. And that is extremely disruptive and contradictory. So then that becomes like a big subculture, a big niche of like, hey, we need to call out all this like contradictory stuff. Where though, as Christians, do we then actually practice what it means to accept someone into the faith as like a transformed life when they were not doing this thing before being in ministry? So this doesn't fall into the call out culture narrative. It doesn't fall into this person did something nefarious while being in ministry narrative. It just lives as crazy, nefarious, debaucherous, unredeemed life turning redeemed through Christ. And do we have space for that considering what we read in scripture?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with the pushback on like Lentz, right? It's like, here's someone that did something awful.
Yeah.
Went to therapy, went to recovery, went and did all the things.
Yeah.
And there's certain people that are like, he can do no good ever.
True. But where I was drawing a distinction was Lentz lives in the world of was in a place of ministry, leading people, yet did something extremely nefarious. And so there wasn't this like, this person was already supposed to be living a transformed life. And so then that's when we're like, as a church, like, oh my gosh, red alert. But
this is a person not saved.
This is a person not saved.
Diagnosed psychopath,
doing crazy things as a psychopath. That was not saved, is not in ministry, was not living a double life. They were just debaucherous. It was just a bad life. And then got redeemed. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, this is actually different because it's titled like he raped girls. Yeah, it's titled this way where it's like, oh, we're calling out. This is the site that calls out people that did nefarious stuff while in ministry. Right. Yet this is like, hey, we're gonna call out stuff.
That's a good observation.
Yeah, we're gonna call out stuff that you did before you were saved. And I was like, where in our faith, considering the passages we read and who the authors were, do we have space for people's honest, accountable confessions? Like, that's an interesting take, because he's not saying like, hey, by the way, I've been living a double life as an internet a teacher, that now I've actually been doing all this crazy stuff behind the scenes actively. It's like, this is just a lot of information that is probably, not suited for the internet, yet can you handle it?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good take. I think, thank you for drawing that distinction between Lentz and this. Because I do think it's an important distinction.
Mind you, wild claims. But how do we challenge ourselves?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Anyone that knows David Wood's testimony was not surprised by any of this.
It's like, he almost killed a dude.
The dude tried to kill his dad and went to prison for 5 years. You're shocked that
that wasn't his first offense.
Yeah, he was at a daggone grew up in the trailer park and like this is no one was surprised by this. I'm not, and that's not to justify. That's not to say it's okay. No one's justifying anything here. No one is saying this is okay. Now, the part that I also want to point out is that apostate prophet, I think one of the reasons why this was pointed out, and by the way, let me just point this out. This is the most infuriating part of this whole thing. American Muslim scholar Daniel Pikachu also expresses disgust on his program. They are airing dirty laundry and exposing themselves in some of the reaches the levels of criminality. They're actually admitting to committing crimes. Now, okay, let me just say this. If your source on statutory grape
is a
let me no. Let me say it.
Okay.
Is a Muslim scholar who actually thinks child marriage is okay.
Uh-huh.
We're not talking post-pubescent. We're talking prepubescent. Child marriage is okay.
Yeah.
And also thinks it's okay to marry your cousin and sleep with your cousin.
Yeah.
That was his position with Andrew Wilson recently.
Eesh.
I don't think this is a great source.
Yeah.
To rail against someone that committed statutory rape.
Yeah, it's also
you're pointing to a faith that is actually okay with this.
Yeah, it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
This is
which is like
straight.
Stop quoting.
Yeah, straight brainworms.
Yeah,
straight brainworms on their part to quote this dude. They and by the way, fact check me on this. Look it up. Most of these Dawa guys are okay with child marriage. Why? Because Muhammad married a 5-year-old and consummated the marriage at 9.
Oh, goodness gracious.
This is fact. This is their faith. So you're going to quote someone who is, by the way, this guy's not a scholar, right? You're going to quote someone that just lost the debate with Andrew Wilson because he's clearly okay with lower IQs being the result of interbreeding within Muslim cultures.
Is this the same guy that debated?
He debated
inspiring philosophy.
I think this is the same guy that debated inspiring philosophy on child marriage.
He had the laptop that said predator.
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this is a cell phone if I've ever seen one. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, then hit the like button. If you liked it a lot and have a thought to share, leave a comment. If you are listening to this on the podcast app, make sure to leave a review, and you could even leave a comment over there. And if you want to watch another video that is recommended just for you, hit this video over here. Let me know if they nailed it. Also, you can partner with us monthly, which helps us out a lot in our monthly community. Get access to early drops and all that kind of good stuff over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.